Hello everyone, long time no see. Probably nobody was asking this, but in case anybody was thinking like, where has Miriam been? She hasn't posted in almost a month now. Where have I been? You might be wondering. Well, I'm so glad that you asked. I would love to tell you. That's what I'm going to be talking about in this video. I hope that the sound is okay. I'm using a different camera right now. My sister has like a really fancy camera because she has a food business and she's just really good at photography and everything too. I'm back. I had to go turn the air down 1 degree because I was starting to get a little toasty. And y'all know if it had a silk press, you get silk presses and stuff. Sweat plus silk press. Not a good combination. I have got to just thank anyone who has subscribed to me, and just thank you if you're subscribed to me, and hello and welcome if you're newly subscribed. Thank you so much for being here. So I am aware that I have like 3 different types of subscribers, okay? I feel like maybe 90% of you are here because of hair, like you want hair related content. I think that maybe the rest, like, and then like 9.999% of you are here because you are interested in my celibacy journey and trying to find my husband, but not doing the jingy and waiting to do the jingy till marriage. Side note, I've been learning more about YouTube, and I'm gonna try and be more specific, more intentional about some of the words that I use / words that I do not use on this channel, if you catch my drift. So jingy, yeah, maybe some of you are here because you're on your journey of waiting, and that's why you're here. And then probably, I think there's probably like 3 people who are here to listen to my very sporadic instrumentless acapella covers. I recognize there's probably like 3 people, but I also don't look at the analytics or anything like that. Again, y'all, I'm not very tech savvy, and also I am very am tender-hearted. That's what mom says. I'm tender-hearted, so I don't like, there's some videos that I don't even look at the comments at all because I saw like a bunch of negative comments and I was like, come on. Why, you know, so that kind of just made me not really want to look at the comments anymore on like certain videos, but so anyways, so all that to say, I don't look at analytics, I don't look at like any of that sort of stuff, so I don't know about like any of the data or whatever. I just see that, you know, that a few more people are subscribing to me each day or each week or whatever, and I'm like, oh wow, that makes me feel really special. So thank you guys. So in this video, I have no idea how long this video is gonna be, but I feel like it might end up being long because I got several things to talk about, okay, that has happened in the last like almost a month since I posted. So go ahead and grab some kettle corn or whatever you like to eat when you're watching a video or listening to a video, whatever. I mean, popcorn is good too, but I'm more of a kettle corn girl. That's probably why I've had so many cavities in my life. Whenever someone's like, I've never had a cavity, I'm like, God really does have favorites, doesn't he? But love that for you. I love that for you. All right, so first off, where have I been? First off, like 3 weeks ago, yeah, maybe like 3 weeks ago, August 6th, I went to the Dominican Republic. I went to the Dominican Republic with my family. So my mom, two of my sisters, and my sister's boyfriend. So we went to the Dominican Republic, and we were there for 6 days, sorry. It was Sunday through Saturday. And out of 10, I would rate that vacation a 12. It was a 12 out of 10. It was hands down the best vacation that I've ever been on. We did so many things. Like, it was actually kind of exhausting. I mean, during the middle of the week, we finally did take like a rest day where we didn't like really plan anything besides going down to like the beach and taking pictures and stuff, because we stayed at like I guess it was like an apartment complex that was right on the beach. And well, one of the beaches, we went to a few different beaches down there. And so I guess some of the highlights, things that I really remember about it were on Monday we called it, well, Sunday night we spent so much money on food. And then so we were like, let's go to the grocery store. Monday morning we should go to the grocery store and just get a bunch of groceries and stuff and just like, you know, save money and all that sort of stuff. So we went to the grocery store, and we called an Uber, and we're gonna call her Mama Linda. She was our Uber driver, and like as soon as we got in the car, she was just like so personable. That's one of the many things that I loved about the Dominican Republic. There were just so many like characters. There were just so many characters. It was just like you could go like anywhere, and you would just, somebody would strike up a conversation with you, or just like, you know, having like different Uber drivers or just different places that you went. You just met like we just met such characters. But like she was such a character, Mama Linda. She I feel like she was around my mom's age or whatever. So she took us to the grocery store. It was called Jumbo, and that was so much fun. Like I don't think I've ever had so much fun in a grocery store before. It was just so fascinating, just going down all the different aisles, because look, I know like a lot of people on YouTube, you might watch like they're actual like travelers and stuff like that. I'm not, like, honestly, my mom, my sister and I, we just like got our passports, you know, like a couple months ago for this trip. I went out of the country when I was a teenager, so maybe like I went on a few mission trips when I was a teenager. So when I was like 13, 15, and 17, I went on a few different mission trips. So I had a passport. I had a passport back then, but it had way expired. I haven't been on like a vacation out of the country ever. So yeah, so it was like such a new experience, like, you know, just going to the grocery store, and you know, there being of course like certain similarities to like American grocery stores, but then they're also just, I remember just being in awe of the canned bean aisle. Like I stood there for a while and was just looking at, I was just mesmerized by it, and I took a video of it.
It's so pretty.
There's so many beans. And then we were leaving the grocery store, and I remember a couple of workers, they like bagged all our stuff in like a cart, and then they like pushed, you know, like they were like, okay, we're gonna take it to your car, to, in this case, Mama Linda's car, because she was driving us. Because I didn't add, we were going to get a rental car at the airport, but it ended up costing way more than any of us wanted to spend. So we're like, okay, we're just gonna Uber the whole week. And honestly, it was God. It was all in, you know, hashtag God's plan that we didn't get a rental car, that we got an Uber driver, because Mama Linda, like, she was so funny, and she my mom was like, do you drive outside of Uber? And she was like, yeah. So she ended up like just driving us around like the whole week, and she took us like to so many different places that like we would have never seen or experienced ever, like, but I'll get to that later. But anyways, yeah, the guys, they were like pushing the stuff through in the cart, and my Spanish is like really, really bad. I'm sure that my high school Spanish teacher will not see this, but I took 5 years of Spanish, and I have like nothing to show for it. It's quite embarrassing. I feel like he would be quite disappointed. But I was like trying to communicate I was doing my best, but then I pulled up my app and stuff, and because I was noticing like everybody else was like bagging their own stuff and putting it in the cart and everything and pushing it. And I was like, I feel like they know that we're tourists or something, and that's why they're like doing it for us. And so I asked him, I was like, how did you know that we were tourists? It's because of our wristbands. We had to wear these wristbands the whole week. Like the lady at the front desk of the apartment, she was like, you cannot take these off. So we had to wear those the whole week, and so we were like obviously tourists. We were obviously tourists because, granted, I feel like maybe if we weren't wearing the bands, then maybe we could have blended in, because I hope this doesn't get me canceled. And if you want to call me ignorant, you can. I've already had one of my best friends call me ignorant because I didn't know that there were so many people in the Dominican Republic who are like my skin tone and even darker. I'm not going to say that they're black, because I've also learned a lot of people in Dominican Republic do not identify as black, you know? So so that was really, really interesting. I feel like I learned so much down there or whatever. But yeah, so I feel like if we didn't have to wear those bands, we wouldn't be as much like, it wouldn't be as much like a dead giveaway that we were not from there, you know? So that was great. The grocery store was great. So one of the other like most amazing things that we did, and that I'll just take with me forever and cherish the memories. We went to this outdoor, like, it was like kind of like an amusement park, but it was like a natural amusement park. So it wasn't like roller coasters, you know, like at Disney World or you know, Busch Gardens or something like that. It was like, there was zip lining, there was like natural swimming pools, and like a giant like waterfall, and like all these caves. Like there were different caves and like pools in those caves, and you could like jump off the cliff or whatever into the pool. And this like 7-year-old little girl was like gonna jump off, but she got like really, really scared. So, you know, I'm thinking like, okay, is she just gonna like, her mom just gonna like walk with her and turn her around? No, the little girl was up there for like several minutes, and she's like standing at the edge, she's freaking out. The mom's like, come on, do it. And literally, and then she like started crying, and then they finally left. But then they like kept coming back like multiple times, and like I feel like everybody in the little cave pool thing would just get like kind of quiet, and like, because you can't help but look. Like I was like, okay, try not to pay attention to her, maybe it's just like all these eyes on her. But you know, we're also like cheering on, like, you can do it, you know, you can do it. And then when I went to go jump, I like kind of passed her, and I was like, hey, like it's okay, and you know, like if you don't want to do it, like you're so brave, girl. You're so brave for even like coming to the edge of the cliff, because girl, when I was your age, I could have never. But so she kept doing that like multiple times, like leaving and then coming back, and her mom would like always be with her. And I'm like, at some point just get back in the pool, y'all. Like it's okay. Like you don't have to, like, it's not like when you came to the park, or like you came to this area of the park that like you signed something that was like, I have to jump off it. She did not have to jump off the thingy. But so eventually her mom pushed her off, and oh my gosh, everyone was like, ooh. Like it was kind of awkward, and she jumped, she got pushed in, and then she was like crying and went up to the steps where she like met her mom, and she was like hitting her and was like, I hate you. And so that was really interesting. The zip lining I was excited about initially, but honestly it was the scariest part of the whole thing. I don't regret doing it, but honest to goodness, you had to, like, it was like, I don't even know how to describe it. It was like, you know, you end up climbing up taller than the trees. And I mean, obviously I've never been to the army or been to like basic training or anything like that. But bruh, I was so glad that my mom ended up not coming, because we were actually like climbing up like the side of a mountain and stuff, in order to like get to the next zip lines. Like it was a whole like course of like a bunch of zip lines, and you're like higher than the trees. You're standing on like a little, I don't know, platform for, you know, a few seconds, and the person clips you on and then just sends you off. And I feel like some of the workers might have been like annoyed with me, because I was like visibly shaking. I was scared, because I was like, if one of these people like has a vendetta against me or Americans or just is a homicidal person, they could easily just not hook my thing on right, and I'm gone. I'm toast. I'm dead. I'm done for. But by the grace of God, but by the grace of God, but by the grace of God, we all made it. We all made it. And my sister's boyfriend did get injured like on that, and so we ended up going to the clinic, and nobody spoke English, and that's fine. Like, we're in another country. Like, I'm not gonna expect, it's okay. I'm in another country. I wish I could speak Spanish. How I wish I could speak Spanish. And so the person in the clinic was like, "Dude, any of you speak do you speak Spanish?" They asked that in Spanish. I don't want to butcher it here and embarrass myself. And I was like, I speak a little bit. And so, so then she started giving me all these instructions in Spanish. I didn't really understand, but at the end, I did understand her saying like, "Oh, you guys need to go to like the front desk, like the entrance, like near like the store and stuff like that, to like buy merchandise and stuff, because they didn't have any like band-aids at the clinic or anything like that." I'm like, wait, why don't y'all have any band-aids? Why don't y'all have any band-aids at the clinic? God forbid, God forbid someone like, God forbid somebody get like really hurt or anything. But yeah, and then yeah, I just like loved like the different conversations and stuff that we had with people at the park, because like I love talking to people and just like hearing people's stories and just learning more about people and stuff. So just talking to the workers and stuff there, because a lot of them could speak English and everything, and they were like in their early and mid-20s and stuff. Some of them actually, something that happened, we were talking to one guy near the pool, like at the pool, who worked there, and then his coworker friend like walked up to us. He saw my sister's boyfriend, who is black and African American man. He walks up and just starts beatboxing. He's like, and we're like, it took us a second to like understand what was happening, because like after that he just kind of like sat there. He didn't contribute, like, I don't say he didn't contribute anything to the conversation, but he didn't really end up saying anything else. He just like walked up and like pointed at my sister's boyfriend and started like beatboxing. I'm like, I guess this is like maybe this is a stereotype a stereotype about African Americans or something, African American males, that they are all into hip hop and beatboxing. I don't know, but we were like, interesting. But no, his friend was really cool, and we just had a really good conversation. And then on the bus ride back, because we didn't stay at a resort, but the park company went to different resorts and picked up different tourists who were coming to it, so we didn't have to like take an Uber all the way there or anything like that. But we didn't stay in a resort, but so we found the closest resort, and we just kind of like showed up and got on the bus with everybody else. So so we were on the bus. It was like we were laughing because we were trying to sleep, because it was such a fun day, but it was exhausting. It was exhausting. It was like 8 hours. We were there for like 8 hours, and we got on the bus, and they were blasting like the most like stereotypical American playlist, and a lot of Bruno Mars was playing. So I was like, it's okay. I don't have to sleep. I'll just what they say, I'll sleep when I'm dead. So it's all good. But I thought that was so funny, and I was like, at some point, I'm just waiting for them to start playing the national anthem, and they didn't, but we kind of just thought it was funny, and we were definitely singing along though, not gonna lie. So yeah, and just other things throughout the week of Mama Linda just taking us to see different parts of the country that, again, we would have never just known about on our own. She drove us to her hometown, which was like maybe like an hour and 20 minutes away from where we were staying, which we stayed in Punta Cana. And she drove us to her hometown, and she knew like everybody in the hometown when she got there, like near to her old house. She like rolled down the window, was like, "Hey!" It was just talking to like everybody, and then she like parked, and then she was like, "Okay, so this is the house where I used to live. Like right now, my son's father lives there, but he's not here right now. He's at work. So let's go inside. Let's go inside." And my mom was like, "This is not breaking and entering, is it?" And no, she was like, "It's good, it's good, it's good." And we were like, so that was cool. And then she drove us. Then all of a sudden she like stopped right in front of somebody's house and was like, calling out the window. And then the lady showed up and like brought like homemade like chocolate balls that she made, and coffee and stuff. And it was so cool. It was like a drive-through, but like right at her house, just like her selling that stuff that she like made with her hands and like ground. It was so cool. And yeah, we just went to like a beautiful beach and just taking us to the disco, which is another thing I learned is that like dancing, or I guess like it's clubbing, I feel like, and dancing, like places where you go dancing, maybe it would be like the equivalent here, like in America, would be like a club or a place where you go like salsa or something like that. They call it the disco down there. So it was all about the disco, and everyone was talking, not everybody, but like you'd ask, because I think that I'm good at I think that I'm good at Zumba. Like when you go to the gym, you go to Zumba class, okay? I be getting it. But like when I go to like a salsa night or something, like a Saturday night in America, I'm struggling. I'm struggling. I'm not good at it. It's hard for me, but I love watching them, like people do it who are like really good at it and stuff. So she took us to this disco place like on our last night, and I did not want to dance because I'm not good at it, and the people there were so good, but the security guard ended up like grabbing my hands to like dance with me and stuff, and I just felt like I was just so like, I just kept being so apologetic and stuff. I was like, this is so embarrassing because people are like looking, and I'm just like looking at his feet. I don't know what the heck I'm doing. So yeah, there's so much more that I could say about that trip, but again, it was the most incredible week of my life, and just being able to be there, I just felt like so fortunate. Like I feel like I couldn't even completely soak in just the incredible beauty of the water and of the sand and of the trees and just everything. I was trying to just like soak everything in, but I couldn't, like the views and stuff. I just felt so fortunate, and I am just so fortunate and blessed that I was able to experience that week there. And I would 110,000% love to go back to the Dominican Republic. If you're interested in going to the Dominican Republic, if someone tries to talk you out of it, go. Go anyways, okay? Because what Black Panther say? As you can see, I am not dead, okay? Because I was telling somebody that I was going to Dominican Republic, and he was just like, he was like, be careful or whatever, like stuff, shady stuff goes on down there. And I responded to him like, thank you for your concern, my guy. But shady stuff goes on everywhere. Like shady stuff goes on in America. Have you seen the news? I don't really watch the news anymore. No cap, no lie. Because they'd be like, every single night, like you turn on the news, they'd be like, good evening, blah, 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 blah. But the news is like never good, except like if you watch 2020 with David Muir. Literally like the last 5 minutes, they're like, a dog saved an elderly woman and attended her 106th anniversary of the day that she met her husband in World War II. The last 5 minutes is like the only uplifting, positive news that happens at all. So like, I don't even watch it anymore. But again, call me ignorant, but you gotta do what you gotta do, okay? You gotta protect your mental health. Am I right, ladies? So yeah, anyway, so somebody tries to be like, no, don't go to Dominican Republic. Show them this video and be like, it was so much fun. And also, I'm not gonna lie, I don't have the best street smarts. Obviously, as I've gotten older and stuff, my street smarts have grown. Thanks be to God, because you don't know that song? It could have been me. It could have been me. It's so many times I could have been done for, but God is not done with me. Because yeah, but anyways, my street smarts have improved, honest to goodness, but some might say that in some ways, at some particular times in my day-to-day living, I seem kind of naive, you know, or like my head's in the clouds, or like I'm not paying attention or whatever. But honestly, I went with my family, you know, women, and then you know, her boyfriend, he's like 6'3", and you know, that definitely helped us to feel safer and stuff like that. But we met a solo traveler while we were there, and I was like, I thought that was so cool. Yeah, and which reminds me of the men in the DR are very, very bold. I mean, obviously there's different types of men like everywhere and stuff. Obviously there's shy men in the DR, but I felt like there were so many like bold men, just very bold. And Mama Linda was like, you need to be careful, like y'all need to be careful, because and don't believe anything that they say. She was like, I got a video, I might add it right here. She was like, don't believe nothing that they say, because she had like introduced me to this guy, because she took me to like this restaurant, her like brother's restaurant, and she introduced me to this guy there, and she was like, okay, he says that he's single, but y'all, he turned out to be married, okay? I was texting him for a little bit or whatever, and he sent me like a full body picture of himself like standing out somewhere, and he had a wedding ring on. And because I was asking him about like his family and stuff, because I was curious, because he's like older. He's probably like, I mean, not older, but older than me, maybe like 10 years older than me. I don't know, maybe like 38, 39, I don't know. And I was like trying to figure out like who was in his family. He was only saying that like he had a daughter, and then he sent that video. I'm like, I became like Detective Tutuola, and I was like, are you married? And he was like, yes, I'm married. And I was like, how long have you been married? He's like, 15 years. And I was like, well, thank you for being honest. Like, I appreciate you being honest about it. I mean, like, eventually. And he was like, that is one thing in my life that, you know, that I can always say about myself, is that I'm honest. But I'm like, were you honest? When I had to like kind of, I don't want to say you weren't very forthcoming about that. And why would you even exchange numbers with somebody, with a woman, when you're married? Like, the ick. Anyways, so that was the DR. So while I was in the DR, I got a call from a job recruiter. So I guess I haven't explained this, but I actually left my job in June. I was a teacher. I was an elementary school teacher, and I resigned. And I will absolutely do a video about that in the future, should anyone be interested in it. It was quite an experience. I will say that, because I love children. I love working with children and everything, but girl, shout out to all the educators, because I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it for long. So anyways, I quit my job in June. I've been working with a recruiter the last couple months to like find a job to like go back to my old career. And so I got a call while I was in the DR that this company wanted to interview me. And so they wanted to interview me while I was in the DR, but thankfully I was able to like convince them to give me until the next like Monday when I got back. So as soon as I got back, I'm like, how trips are, like recovering from a trip and everything, but I really want this job. So so I did all this preparation, and I was like, I do deal with like anxiety. I probably should get like medication for it, because I haven't really found a way to like get rid of it just now, like yet, besides like just trying to like distract myself by like watching videos or something like that. But yeah, my anxiety was pretty bad, like and I hate interviewing. I hate having to like sell myself, honestly. I'm like, you see my resume, okay, you know I can do the job, but then you have to like sell yourself and like be ready to like answer all these questions, like, strangers, and I don't know, it just makes me so nervous or whatever. But after the interview, I was feeling like I did a really bad job. I'm kind of hard on myself too, honestly. I've been told that for like a long time. And so, but then the recruiter called me like a couple hours later and was like, they loved you and they want you to come in for a second interview with like, the big boss in a few days. So that was like this past Thursday. I had the second interview, which I felt like it was a little too easy. It was a little too easy, and I was like, I don't know if that's I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but I had to meet with the two like executives there like separately, and I was prepared to like answer all these like interview questions and stuff like that. And had my answers ready to go, but then it just ended up being like a conversation with both of them. Much more chill than I expected, much more chill than the first interview. So I'm actually still waiting to hear back. A little nervous about it. I have my phone on airplane mode right now because I didn't want to get any calls or anything while recording this video. So we'll see. They said they'll let me know by they said we'll let you know by the middle of next week. So either tomorrow or the next day I should know if I got it. If I got it, that's awesome. I could really use this job. If not, then I'm okay. Like, I'll be fine. They say like what God has for you is for you, and that BB Rexha song, if it's meant to be, it'll be. Baby, just let it be. Now, I know those are like very different, but they both were just kind of like in my mind as it was like heading back from the interviews, and just being like replaying everything in my mind and be like, oh, I should have said this, or I could have said this differently or whatever. If it's meant to be, it'll be. If that's where I'm supposed to be, that's where I'm gonna be. And if it's not, then where I am supposed to be, the door is gonna open up, and Lord willing, soon. So yeah. And then the most recent last few days, I have been, I went to my hometown for the last few days to visit family. I had some family, like some cousins come into town they were there like all last week, but I was like, had the interviews and stuff like that. So I just went towards the end of the week. And how like if you were in if you come from an African-American family, then you might know that like when you go to like family gatherings or cookouts or family reunions and stuff, there is usually like a kids table and an adults table. So the adults table is where they're talking about grown folk stuff, and the kids are not allowed to be over there, or like the kids are not welcome in that space. You know what I mean? So when you get older, you think that as you get older, you would be you would transition, you would make that transition to the adult table. I have never made that transition. So, I'm 28, but we had a family reunion last month, like a little family reunion, and I was literally at the kids' table, okay? Because I don't know. I don't want to say that I'm immature. I hope I don't come off as like immature, but I'm just like, I just really click with like the young people. That makes me sound so old, which I kind of am. But yeah, so like my cousins are like 13 and 16, and then I have my baby sister is 17. So, you know, I just like hang out with them and my other sister who's 24, and so she's only 3.5 years younger than me, and her boyfriend who's like 26. So we just were all like doing all this stuff like the last few days. Like we went to we laser tagged and ice skated, and what else did we do? I'm drawing a blank. And we watched High School Musical. Well, we started to watch High School Musical, and my sister's boyfriend was like, you all are permitted to sing every other song, like you can't sing every song. But that flew out the window. The first song, okay, like they were like, put the captions on, and I was like, High School Musical came out in 2006. Like, you've had more than enough time to learn the lyrics to these songs by now. Like, but anyway, so we got all the way up until Stick to the Status Quo. Iconic, simply iconic. And so we paused like at the middle of the song, and my sister was like, everybody go around and share a secret, because you know in Stick to the Status Quo they're like if Troy can tell his secret, I can tell mine. I bake. What? And they're like, what? You can't do that. You have to stick to your thing. Baking is not your thing. You have to stick to your clique, okay? So she was like, let's go around and like share a secret. So then we ended up spending like at least an hour and 15 minutes just going around and sharing secrets. They started out pretty lighthearted, but then they got pretty deep. And it'd be like, I like shared something, and my sister was like, wow, like I'm sorry that you didn't feel like you could tell me that. Like all in all seriousness, but it was all good. It was really funny, and so we ended up not finishing the movie. I was like, maybe next time we all see each other at Thanksgiving, we can like actually finish the movie, because that is a good movie. For all of the subscribers who are here about hair, as you can see, my hair is silk pressed, okay? And I have learned since, oh wow, you can see it's actually a little wavy at the top, because that just shows, you know, the humidity. But I've got a brush. I'm gonna try and make it very clear, you know, that I'm not pretending to have, because I have had some comments of people not thinking this is, you know, growing out of my head. And I understand skepticism. I'm actually quite like a skeptical person too. I'm always like, we're gonna go back to High School Musical, questioning the status quo, questioning why things are the way that they are, whether they're just like systems in place or whatever it is. I'm like, you know, I don't just accept what I'm told is the truth, if that makes sense. So I completely understand why somebody might think that I'm wearing a wig or a half wig or extensions or something like that. This is my hair, and I'm gonna try and show you the back. I just got this done today. Sorry, try and stand up so you can see it. Maybe I should stand up. So. I don't know if you could completely see the length because I was way over there, but yeah, I know I just got a silk press in the beginning of June. Now it's mid-August. I don't usually get silk presses so close to each other, but honestly, I needed a little change. I know somebody might say, you know, especially like a hardcore natural who's like, don't put heat on your hair. They might be like, okay, you want to change, like, you know, go, I don't know, I can't think of anything right now. Go pick out a new ice cream flavor or something like that. Like, you don't have to put heat on your hair in order to like get a change or whatever. But that's personally just what I wanted to do. Honestly, been having a little mental health, you know how mental health can can be sort of, you can have highs, you can have lows, and sometimes you're just like reminded of things that have happened in the past or people in the past, boys that have hurt you and everything. So I kind of was just thinking about I guess my most recent relationship and him, and just I know that I should block him on like social media and stuff, but we're not friends or anything. He unfriended me. But he's on public, so I just cannot help myself sometimes, most times, from just checking up on his Instagram, seeing what he's up to. And he looks so happy. And I know he's moved on and he's like, you know, dating other girls and stuff like that. I'm like, I love that for you. But no. So I just wanted to change. So actually, the city that I live in, I moved here like pretty much exactly this time last year. I moved here, and it's like a couple hours from my hometown, so I'm not too far. I go home a lot. But so I've never gotten a silk press up here before. I haven't had a stylist up here. Last time I got a silk press, I went down to my hometown, to the lady that I usually see. But and yes, that lady does a good job, but I'm sure that I'm not the only natural who's gone to a stylist and has just dealt with just a sheer lack of customer service. There's no other way I can put it. Such a lack of customer service. Just attitudes, just people being short with you, like from the time you call to make the appointment to when you show up on time and they show up 45 minutes late with no explanation, to literally you just trying to ask them how they're doing, or carry on like just a little conversation. It's like you don't have to, I don't need like your whole like life biography if you don't want to like give me that. Like that's perfectly fine or whatever, but like some simple small talk without you having an attitude is ideal. But yeah, so I've just dealt with as I'm sure plenty of other people can relate, just a lack of customer service when getting your hair done professionally. So I looked around. I did a bunch of research. My best friend says that research is my favorite word, because if Miriam's gonna do one thing, it's gonna be research. So I was researching like natural stylists in my area and looking at like reading the reviews and things, and I found one that was like 11 minutes from my house. I made an appointment, and man, wow, she was the most prompt, personable, genuinely kind-hearted women that I've ever met, like let alone stylists, but like that I've ever worked with ever. And man, she was just so warm from the time that she walked in, which was literally like she was right on time, and just like really just took such time, just like washing my hair and like scrubbing and like using this, like she was even explaining to me what she was doing and like what was happening as it was happening, because like my head was feeling really tingly with the shampoo and everything, and she was just like explaining that was like menthol. I don't know, if I'm sorry if I'm saying that wrong, but that's why it's like feels really cool and tingly, and that this is what it's doing and this is what it does for your hair and it activates. Like she was just like incredible, and she was just like asking me just about me and was telling me like where she was from and about her family, her son and her grandkids, and just like her story and stuff like that. And she was such a beautiful woman. And I don't know, I noticed like as soon as I got in there that it was they're definitely like it was an African braiding shop, but they were definitely like Christian owned, and they're even like, I think something I saw that it said like our hands are blessed, and they really are. Like they were so warm, and there was just so much beauty in there. And there was also a barbershop inside of there, which was cool. I'd never been in like a hair salon where like the barbers, there was also a barbershop in there, so like the barbers are there cutting the guy's hair, like right next to where the stylists are doing the women's hair. It was really cool. And so she actually educated me a lot, and just like actually cared about my hair. That's a first. So, you know, I'm certainly not saying like scratch all my hair advice that I've given, but because, you know, the tips and stuff that I gave in like my last videos and stuff, I really do believe that have helped to like retain my length and everything. But I really did learn about how I can treat my hair even better, and so I'm definitely gonna relay these tips onto you. So she was doing my hair, and she asked me like why. She was like why are certain places like broken off? So like maybe, I don't know if I can get close enough and see. Oh, maybe you can see it. Like there's like some broken off pieces, definitely, like on the edges. Yeah, she was like, right here. Like, why are your edges broken off? Like, why is that so short? As you can see, it's short. Like the front of my hair is just quite shorter than the back. And I was just telling her what I do and how she was like ponytails, and she was like, she knew I was gonna say ponytails because I was telling her I usually just like wear slick backs and stuff because I just don't do that many wash and goes anymore because I want to like protect my ends, and also I just haven't yet figured out the best wash and go routine that will really make my hair look amazing for like several days in a row. It really will only look good on day one. That's kind of why I haven't really done a wash day video yet, because I still got to figure out how to make it look like moisturized and juicy and everything on day 2, day 3. You know, the curls and stuff, they're not like as popping anymore after day 1. So excuse me. So a lot to say, I've been doing a lot of slick backs and even wearing a V-part wig. And she was like, you know, the clips of the V-part wig, they're right there, and that's just very harsh on your hair, so you really should pull back on doing both of those things. You really should just wear your hair out. So I definitely received that advice. I absolutely received that advice. And you know, maybe I'll start, you know, incorporating more like wash and goes, or just not pulling it back so tight, you know. You know, maybe just like if I do it in 2 ponytails, just making it like a loose braid, as opposed to, because I was using like, and you know, they already say stuff about gel and like having the perfect slick back and everything like that. It does end up causing damage, as you can see. So, you know, my hair is not perfect, and I'm going to be completely transparent about that or whatever. Like, what does it benefit to lie? And like I have this channel because I have this channel because I don't know, I've had some experiences, you know, in life, as we all have, and I'm a firm believer in like just sharing your experiences so that other people, I don't say can have it easier, but that I don't know, just to help other people. I don't know how to explain it in a fancier way or whatever, you know, like why gatekeep information or whatever, so that you can have the longest hair in all the land. Selfish. Anyways, so she taught me that, and she was just such a beautiful soul. And so I'm really glad that I was craving a slight change, you know, for a couple weeks. This will last like 2 weeks max. I don't know how women get their hair, like I don't know how people can get their silk presses to last. So the memory card on the camera just notified me that it's full, so it stopped recording. So I'm on my iPhone. But yeah, so as I was saying, I don't know how women who get silk presses can make them last longer than 2 weeks. Honestly, for me, 2 weeks is even a stretch. It just starts to get so oily and like stiff looking. It just looks so bad. I can't take it anymore, and I have to wash it. And another sign that's like, oh, it's time to wash it, is when I had a student like I think in January, I was probably at like the weekend, like the 2 week mark, you know, almost at the 2 week mark, trying to like finesse it a little longer. And she was like looking at my hair and she was like, what's all that white stuff in your hair? And that is how I knew it was time to start to wash it, because I guess I don't know, I guess I had dandruff, visible dandruff in my hair, and I was like, that is embarrassing. That's mad embarrassing. So I went home and I washed the silk press right out of my hair that day, and I never looked back. So, I think that's everything. I think that's everything. That's where I've been. Oh, I didn't say that. I didn't add that. I also got a trim. I got a trim this time. Actually, last time I got my hair straightened, I was in June. I was in a rush trying to make it to my niece's dance recital, and so I didn't have her trim the ends, even though I knew that they did need to be trimmed. You know, they do say to trim them every 6 weeks. I know that's a question that I get asked, to, you know, how often do you get your ends trimmed? Every stylist I ask says 6 weeks, and I ask every single time because I always wish that it would be longer, because I don't want to go to the stylist every 6 weeks, you know what I'm saying? But I even asked the wonderful, beautiful, gorgeous, intelligent woman stylist who did my hair today, and she suggested every 6 weeks too. And she snipped my end. She was like, baby girl, like she was like, baby girl, your ends really needed this trim. And I was like, yeah, I know, they absolutely did, because I could just see how they were kind of like straggly, and it was always harder to comb out the ends when they're you know, when they just try to show you the ends. So yeah, so that is it. I think yeah, sorry I've been gone for so long, for anyone who cares, because I feel like weird saying that, like, oh yeah, the YouTube community has just been lost and hopeless, you know, like a dagger in y'all's chest because I haven't posted for like a month. You know, I'm not that, like, you know, I'm more self-aware than that, you know. But for anybody who, if there is anybody who was wondering and wanted to see more videos of me, I'm back and I'm better. I'm back and I'm better. And I'll be more consistent. I know that like every YouTuber and their mama be like, I'm back. And guys, I'm gonna be so consistent. I'm gonna be posting every week. I'm gonna be posting 2 times a week, every Tuesday and Friday. Go ahead and like, comment, and subscribe. And don't forget to hit that bell notification so that you never miss an upload. I've watched my fair share of YouTube videos. I know that like every YouTuber and their mama be saying stuff like that. But I really mean it. I was actually like, I was really itching to be able to record again, but it just, things were just so busy with the trip. And then I got back. I just was like, okay, get in the zone, to like really just focus on like preparing for the interviews and stuff like that, and then going to visit family in my hometown. But I really am back, and I'll definitely make some more videos. I personally love listening to story times, and I have a lot of like story times, I feel like, in this here noggin, because I've had some interesting things happen during my 28 years around the sun that maybe, you know, maybe somebody would be interested in hearing. So maybe I'll upload something like that. Or if you have any suggestions or anything, please put them in the box below. Somebody commented on my video like a week ago asking me to do a makeup tutorial. When I tell you that I was flabbergasted, because I'm like, oh my gosh, somebody wants to see how I do makeup. There's like literally like 1 million people on YouTube, gorgeous women who are way better at makeup than I am. But like somebody wants to see how I do my makeup. Like, that's crazy. I was like, oh my gosh, that's like, what a compliment. That actually like genuinely made me smile. So you know, I don't claim to be expert in anything, obviously, in makeup. I don't know how to, you know, there's so much I don't know how to do, but I've learned just a little bit, and I think that it, you know, it works for my face. And then I don't claim to be an expert in hair either. So, you know, I do what I do, and then if I learn that there's a better way, especially from like a professional, then you know I'm gonna share that advice with you guys. You know what I mean? So, all right, that's it. Thank you so much for watching, especially if you made it to the end of this video. Thank you. Thank you so much. I shake you warmly by the hand, and I give you love and hugs. And hopefully we'll talk soon, okay? Take good care of yourself, okay? Keep your chin up or whatever, and don't forget to be kind to yourself. Bye.